What's up, traders from around the world? This is Jeremy Alexander Newsom with Real Life Trading. It is Wednesday, and this is your Wednesday Real Life Stock Review. It is currently 11:43 Eastern Standard Time. I'm hopping on the afternoon trading floor in just a few minutes with Brad. Brad Reed right now is just absolutely going bazonkers over there in that trading room on some trades, which is good. So here's a thought. How bearish is today, I guess, is kind of my question, and that's going to be the question I'm going to try to answer. And I went ahead and said on our Real Life Trading Facebook page, as of today, depending on the close, so let's talk about what I want and, really how I expect the market to close today. There might be some Fed announcements and some, reaction from that, but more or less, if the candle today on the markets closes like it is now, so pretty much where we are in the scheme of things. Now, keep in mind, everything is subject to change due to volatility. The markets are still open. But if we close down here on the markets today and we start making a lower low, so let's say we close just like this, and then Thursday, Friday, we start making a low. I'm not saying I'm crazy bearish, but I do think at that particular point in time, if that happens, I'm going to flip officially from bullish to neutral, which I've been for years, as you guys know. I've been bullish to neutral, right? Buying the pullbacks, not even contemplating a bearish market, just buy the dips, always keeping that bullish perspective. And just a few days ago, last week, in fact, I made a market review saying that we're not really bearish, right? So don't be terribly afraid. Well, the SPY, which is the ETF that tracks the Standard & Poor's 500, the DIA, and a few others, they're not really bearish, but we did break some candles I did not think we would break, and that definitely makes me pause for just a little bit. Let me talk about the one I'm referring to. Here's the IWM, which is the Russell 2000. And this is the ETF that tracks the Russell 2000 and is commonly referred to as a very solid tracking or leading index. And what I mean by that is usually what the Russell does, the general market does. So I'm going to look at this for just a few moments. And again, I know I mentioned earlier in some previous videos that we could easily bounce. I still think there's a great opportunity that we could, but it definitely today is actually doing something I did not think it would do. So again, we got some resistance. We got some support. Nothing too shocking about that, but here is what's a little interesting. Here's the 200 simple moving average, which is this red line. And this red line usually acts as a support of some kind. So even just not too long ago, right about here, okay, again, like I mentioned last year, we did break the 200, so it's not that scary that the IWM has broken the 200. It's done it a few times before. But the fact is that it came up and just barely touched it Monday. And then today, which is Wednesday, the other day was Tuesday, we gapped down a little bit, and today we're continuing that gap, forming a pretty bearish evening star reversal pattern. We're at a support depending on how we close today. If we close with a big, long, lower shadow, I won't be as concerned. But if we close like we are today and we start making a lower low and a lower high on Thursday or Friday, I think Friday I might officially come out and say, all right, guys, I'm just totally neutral. I'm dropping the bullish, and I'm just saying I'm neutral. Why would I do that? Well, at that point, I'm a perma bull. I got to realize that the markets are changing. And if that's happening, I do think the market's changing from bullish, right? From just simply, hey, buy every pullback, right? That's what we've been doing for a long time. And it's been working, right? Right here it's been working, right here it's worked, right here it's worked, but it didn't really work there, and it didn't really work there, which are two places that I tried it. So since both of those buy the dips have stopped working, and some of the gaps are rolling over, I think it's really interesting to me. And since that's the case, I'm going to be neutral. Depending on, again, the close of the day, and I'll update you guys on Friday. What does that mean on neutral or neutrality? It really means I'm just going to quit trading the dips for a little bit, believe it or not, looking and waiting for some higher highs, which we have not had on the IWM. So here's the have not had higher highs. We're actually been making lower highs at this point. And I'll be a little bit more neutral, meaning I'll be trading less. I'll be looking for more neutral trades like credit spreads of some kind and just doing a lot of waiting until we get some confirmation. That's what neutral is. And when I say neutral, I'm not talking about the general markets. Well, actually, I apologize. I am talking about the general markets. I'm not talking about very specific stocks. There are some specific stocks out there that I can trade directionally, but I'm regarding to the actual indices, the SPY, IWM, DIA. Directionally at this point, I think I'm going to stop trying bullish trades and let it be neutral, let it rest, let it calm, and let it tell me what it wants to do. Because as of right now, it's pretty interesting the way things are shaping up. So the DIA gap down today, a pretty nice little bearish gap. It was actually a pretty bearish gap in the morning on the 17th, but now we're down even farther. And at this particular point in time, again, we have a bull put spread on here, which is fine. It's way, way down here, 170. So I'm not going to stress about that bull put spread unless the DIA closes below that wick. But bottom line is today, depending on how we close, is going to be a little interesting. I'm going to watch it and see what's happening. Let me update you guys on some swing trades that we did get triggered into. We did get triggered into Twitter, right? I've been looking at Twitter, this bearish trade, for probably the last week and a half, 2 weeks in the real life stock reviews, which I do post for free Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Triggered yesterday at 28.36, and today it's already down over 3%, 3.76%. So that's good. Brad Reed and a lot of other traders are in some bearish day trades on Twitter, which was pretty easy. Bearish stock, gap down, bearish retest gap, traded up. Here's the entry, here's the stop, boop, there's the rollover, took some off at the low of the day, and I think at this particular point in time, just kind of trailing that position. Alibaba, same thing, had a bearish trigger set up on Alibaba. Here is the entry. So this is published yesterday. 73.56 was the bearish entry. 76.99 is the stop. We had a little bit of a rollover, and we gapped down today. So I'm just kind of interested to see if that's going to kind of continue. Here's your hourly chart. Hourly chart looks pretty bearish on Alibaba as well. Here's the 5-minute chart. I'm looking at the 5-minute chart because, again, Brad Reed and a few others are in bearish. I think they got in bearish there, stopped there, took some off at the low of the day, and now their stop is somewhere in this general area, I think. So Alibaba, if it continues to roll over, we'll be pretty happy about that. He actually just posted another trade, CSCO official. So let's look at his CSCO trade. Here's the daily chart on CSCO, and CSCO gapping down again today. If you guys want to know where is he posting these trades, well, we have a private group chat exclusive for those on the trading floor. So if you're not a trading floor member and you want to be, we do post text message alerts on our trades. So it's kind of just a free bonus benefit for being on the floor. But anyway, so we gapped down a little bit, add a little bit of a support at the moment, but here's the 5-minute chart, and Mr. Reed is looking at 27.73, which is right here. And the stop is going to be 27.83. So he's looking for that little breakdown on CSCO. So that'll be kind of interesting to watch and see how that plays out as well. But bottom line, ladies and gentlemen, some good days today. It's going to be very, very interesting to see what happens over the next day or two. Again, watching the close of the day very, very closely. And me switching from bullish to neutral, which I've been for years, to neutral, I think is kind of a big deal. Doesn't mean the market's going to go to zero. I will say that. We can still get a bullish thrust. I do still kind of anticipate a little bit of a lower low at some point. So if I just had to draw it on the DIA, I kind of anticipate something like this to come in, right? Break some lows, everyone freaks out. We've already had at that point kind of about a 10% correction, and then we get a bounce. That's what I'm going for. That's what I think. But doesn't have to happen just because I think so. So if it does bounce and it trades up to that resistance and begins rolling over, that's when I think I can start flipping to, all right, guys, I'm just bearish. And at that point, it's going to be fun. We'll see what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you guys a little bit later. Thanks so much for watching this Wednesday Real Life Stock Review. I appreciate it. Have a great afternoon. And until next time, love life, live life, and trade it.